On the first day of a new school year, a teacher called aside the most notorious troublemaker in her class. Every teacher in the school knew his reputation. He was disruptive, difficult, constantly getting into trouble. The moment his name appeared on a class list, most teachers braced themselves for a difficult year. But this teacher did something unexpected. She didn't warn him to behave. She didn't lecture him about responsibility. She didn't remind him of his past mistakes. Instead, she looked him in the eye and told him she had heard he was a natural leader. She said she believed he had the ability to influence the other students and help make the class one of the best in the school. There was only one problem. At that moment, it wasn't true. He wasn't known as a leader. He was known as a problem. Yet by the end of the school year, the teacher's prediction had become reality. The boy's behavior improved dramatically. He became more responsible. He began helping instead of disrupting. He slowly grew into the image that had been handed to him. What changed? The teacher gave him a reputation to live up to. Most people underestimate the power of expectations. We often assume behavior changes because of rules, consequences, or criticism. Those things can influence people, but expectations may be even more powerful. The way people see themselves is shaped in part by the way important people see them. That's why labels matter. When someone is repeatedly told they're lazy, irresponsible, careless, or difficult, those descriptions often become part of their identity. Over time, they stop seeing those labels as temporary behaviors and start seeing them as permanent truths. And once a person believes that's who they are, change becomes much harder. Why fight against an identity that everyone seems convinced is real? This is one reason criticism aimed at a person's character can be so damaging. It doesn't inspire improvement. It often cements the very behavior you're trying to eliminate. Now consider the opposite approach. Imagine telling someone they're dependable. Imagine treating them as responsible. Imagine pointing out their potential rather than their flaws. Something remarkable begins to happen. People naturally want to be consistent with the image they've accepted of themselves. When someone believes you genuinely see something good in them, they often work hard not to disappoint you. The reputation becomes something worth protecting. Instead of living down to a negative label, they begin rising toward a positive one. History offers countless examples of this principle. One writer had a maid who was careless, clumsy, and often inattentive in her work. Most employers would have corrected her mistakes repeatedly. Some would have criticized her character. Instead, the writer chose a different approach. She treated the young woman as though she already possessed refinement, grace, and capability. She spoke to her with respect. She expected excellence. She behaved as though those qualities were already part of who the young woman was. Gradually, something changed. The maid began taking greater care with her appearance. Her work improved. Her confidence grew. She became more thoughtful and responsible. The behavior followed the expectation. The reputation came first. The transformation came second. Of course, there's an important distinction here. This principle is not about manipulation. It's not about offering empty compliments. People can usually sense insincerity. If your praise feels fake, it loses its power. The reputation you offer must point towards something genuine or genuinely possible. It should identify a strength, a quality, or a potential that truly exists, even if it's still small and undeveloped. Think of it like watering a seed. You aren't pretending the tree already exists. You're recognizing what the seed has the potential to become, and that recognition helps it grow. That's why the most effective leaders, teachers, parents, and mentors often focus on possibility rather than limitation. They see beyond current behavior. They speak to the better version of the person standing in front of them. And people frequently rise toward that vision. Here's the lesson. People often become what the important voices around them expect them to become. Give someone a low opinion, and they may eventually accept it. Give someone a high one, and they may work tirelessly to earn it. If you want to help someone improve, don't attack their identity. Give them a better identity. Tell them who they can become. Treat them as though that person is already emerging. Because sometimes the fastest way to change behavior is not to criticize who someone is. It's to remind them of who they could be.